Street with Sam Rock and
Gregb
and Mr. Haltzman. Listen, people. Today's topic, I brought Mr. Haltzman in to talk about SB 473, the bill. Everybody's saying it's racist. I don't think it's racist. I just think it keeps people hand out of the cookie jar, taking and taking and taking. So we just brought him in. You know, he ran against Mr. Shelley Willingham, House of Representatives, and I just wanted to bring him in here and get his input on things about SB 473 and a lot of more things. What do you think about that, Greg?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at what's going on just on the Edgecombe side, where Mr. Willingham's supposed to represent, and I don't see nothing happening over there. There's no economic development, empowerment, or anything for that side of Rocky Mountain. I just don't know what's going on, and I think he needs to step it up a little bit and come at these dudes.
So what you think, Mr. Hodge?
Well, it's like this. If you say you're going to serve the people, you need to be visible for the people, you need to be talking to the people, and the people need to know where you stand. If I understand correctly, the men on both sides of me just said they don't know what's going on. And they are leaders in the community. They are people that are making sure that you get fed the information so you can make decisions about how you want to make this work on voting, or if you want to support a particular candidate,
Right.
if you want to take and do what's right by the people. First of all, you got to know the people are listening, and you got to know the value and what the person that's serving the people is doing for them. And if not, what can you do to make it happen? Light a fire on them and say, hey, we need to do something. How are you going to help in your position?
Exactly.
I agree with you on that. I think you told that up real good. SB 473. Why do you think politicians all over the world, or politicians in local government that sits on nonprofit, why do you think they want to vote against it?
Well, I'm not in their head, so to speak.
Yeah, okay,
You know,
okay.
But what I am in, if someone is throwing up a red flag and said, hey, look, you're getting too close to me, I think more than ever the bill ought to be passed when people are coming against it. And if they've done any wrong so far, they won't be punished for it because the bill doesn't start until after it's in effect. It's not retroactive.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, the bill's not retroactive, but it's just saying to me, like you said, a red flag, like, hey, we're doing what they said we're doing, but we want to keep doing what we're doing. For instance, when Beth Woods pointed out a few things with her investigation about taking money and taking this money to enrich yourself and all of that stuff, instead of stopping, they chose to continue doing what they're doing. For instance, they talked about the city manager spending $1,500 for food and all of that. So what they did was they went and changed it, where she don't have to worry about the $1,500 no more. You got a city councilman who owed $47,000 in unpaid utility bills. They went in and hooked it up where the taxpayers paid his utility bills. So yeah, we need SB 473.
And piggyback off what Greg talking about. As I'm gonna give people in the community always say Beth Woods. It's Beth Wood. I gotta get her name.
Wood. Everybody
But
know who I'm talking about.
But the state auditor, I think she did a great job. She just came out and put the information out there.
Exactly.
And it was up to the citizens, the community, like, to hold these guys accountable. And we could go back and forth on Facebook talking about they did this and did that, which we know what they doing. But have they been prosecuted? No, they have not been prosecuted by the state, the law. But we know what they're doing. Stealing is, you go in the store, the person know you came in 140 pounds, you come out 275. They know you got something, they just can't see it. And that's what these guys doing. People don't understand that they are hurting the community by doing what they're doing. The other little groups around it is profiting off what they're doing. And we got to stop that. If we're gonna be black, white, Indian, whatever, we are one race, and that's the human race. We got to stop bickering amongst each other, talk about white and black, Democrat and Republican. We got to stop that, man. You know, we can choose whatever party we want to be, but don't go to another person because he's a Democrat and Republican. I ain't with that. I'm independent, and I believe that right is right and wrong is wrong, no matter what color it is. But I think Beth Woods did a great job coming here and putting the information out there, and people are mad about it, calling her a racist. The lady don't like the white people, black people. How you can be a racist? You know, I just think that they mad because she's getting closer to the fire, and they don't want that fire to be put out.
They don't want to get burned either.
You know.
Well, somebody's in shut the back door, and it's like this: the guilty flee when no one chases.
Exactly.
And so when you listen to this stuff, use a little common sense and pay attention to what's being said. But more than that, pay attention to what's not being said.
Exactly.
And when that happens, you guys are going to say, "We told you so."
And that's the truth. I look at TV shows, look at people podcasts, and I've seen city councils go there, and I've seen people talk about city council on their podcast. But you know what? And what he said, you look at the people, what they say and who they defend. If a person go at a city council that we know doing wrong, they pay no utility or nothing like that, and then they say, but, when they say but, you know what's going on. They defending him, you need to get up and run. When they say, well, you need to get up and run. Because they're taking up for these people. If you don't never hear the person that talk good about him all the time, don't say nothing negative about him, they one-sided. They one-sided. You got to listen to what the person who they defending. So you got to listen to all of that, what's coming out of somebody's mouth.
And when you have somebody that been in a city council position for 2 decades, and they have done absolutely nothing for the wards,
But that's self.
that's showing you. Actions speak louder than words. And you're not doing anything to benefit the citizens who voted you in office, but you're only benefiting the areas where you have businesses. Can't put it no plainer than that.
That's true. So my question, have you ever met Bell?
I have not met Beth in person, no.
How about Lisa Barnes?
Yes, Lisa, I have.
You think she's a great person?
Lisa seems to have done well representing Nash County. She's, I think, trying to make things above board. I don't believe she has an agenda except to represent the people and make it possible for them to be able to be on a fair, even playing field.
That's all I want to hear, fair.
Right.
I like that word, fair. The stuff that they said about Lisa Barnes, about her family, her father-in-law, and they're trying to connect her to that he committed fraud, so she committed fraud, that's nonsense. I know you probably heard the allegation that the other side was saying what she did, but she had nothing to do with it. What her father-in-law did, that ain't her. You know what I'm saying?
Just like we got 3 sitting right here, each one's accountable to each one.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, so, and it'll show itself.
Yes.
It's just, you know, we've been patient, and I think that people got real nervous. They even wrote an editorial in the paper, you know, condemning them as the representative for the people. And bottom line is, people were getting nervous about this, what's going on here, and they don't know who's going to say what, when they're going to say it, because they may be beholden to some folks and they are not coming through and doing what they're supposed to do. And when that happens, the beans get spilled.
And that's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Cause see, for me, I didn't like the fact that Shelley Willingham sided with those guys going against SB 473. It just made me look at him a little different. Like, I never knew him, I only saw him that one time when we went up there
To the
Capitol, but I've never really followed his career or nothing. And normally I do a little research to see who we dealing with and talking to. But with this guy, you know, to me, that was just an automatic turnoff. And with some people that's in office, you're not going to agree with every decision they make.
Mm.
But when you got 2 city council members who are sucking the pockets dry of this city, it's a problem.
Mm.
And then to turn around and side with them, I just want to know, why did he side with them? There's nothing in the bill that's racist. Nothing.
Well, you know, this is why it's word on the street, hearing the black community, and they know Shelley for a long time. Shelley was a pretty decent golf player. Cause as a kid, I used to see him behind Johnson School hitting the golf ball.
Golf.
But Shelley, a lot of people don't know, Shelley used to be a Republican years ago. And most Republican, most Democrat, Shelley always lost everything he ran. But Shelley ended up somehow winning the House, and he's been in there for a couple of years now.
Do you think he won because he switched over to Democrat?
I think he won because he switched over to Democrat. I really do. I think he won because he got the support of the black community behind him, and he finally got in there. So
you think maybe that's why he sided with
I think that's why he's more loyal to the Democratic Party.
Not the Democratic Party.
I think he's more, I think he's Democrat. See, people got to understand, maybe you can break it down as, what I hear, that Democrat Party down in Edgecombe County is something amazing. Those guys down there are like gangsters, for real. They tell you they ain't never seen nothing from the Edgecombe County Democrat Party down there, boy. I'm telling you. So maybe you ran in Edgecombe County.
I did, and actually Edgecombe and Martin County.
Martin County.
And we won Martin County.
But you didn't win Edgecombe.
No, we didn't win Edgecombe. It's like Shelley made a statement on one of Dancy's videos he made, and when he was getting back into politics, and when they flew him up to Raleigh to kind of help see if they could get some votes. And the bottom thing, he said he learned then, it wasn't the money, it was the votes.
Mm-hmm.
So, rather, I don't need the money, I need the votes.
Mm-hmm.
If you got the votes, you'll get the money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying to him? But I just feel like, you know, maybe he sided with them on 473, saying it's racist, because he may need those votes.
That's right.
From these 2 individuals who are screaming the loudest.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of the counties and cities in North Carolina, you only have 2 city councilmen who will run around claiming the bill is racist.
Mm-hmm.
Which you putting a bigger bullseye on your back. Should have just kept your mouth shut, because you wasn't the only ones that Beth Wood caught on investigations or audits who did something wrong. All you had to do at the time was just correct what you was doing. And instead, you just doubled down and continued doing what you was doing.
Because they don't care. They don't care.
I mean, we ran on the premise that there was 2 races and 1 goal. And we did that. I worked with, making sure that the people in Edgecombe County, because we live in Edgecombe County, we like Edgecombe County. I don't like it with the violence now, how it's spread out. And when you got Shelley running on the thing too, defund the police, and then you got Edgecombe County begging for police.
You don't get it, do you?
I am completely lost. I don't understand how the sheriff is able to do what he's able to do.
You're a great sheriff.
He's a great sheriff, wrong party. As to wanting to, they'll figure out a way to slip it in the back door to him, get some money, because he needs it, he's got to have it, and they know that if he's unhappy, you don't realize how critical the sheriff race is in winning in your your county.
I know.
It's critical.
Now, what I haven't seen is this is a city of 48,000 people now, because after the census, they went from 56 to 48, and 7,000 residents left Edgecombe County, bringing the population down to 48,000. Now, even with a population of 48,000, and I guess most of the crimes being on the Edgecombe side, why isn't there a police district on that side?
Because I'm gonna speak on that, because the city of Rocky Mount Police Department years ago used to be on Edgecombe County side. So they redid the city hall and put the city hall on Nass County side. So the city Rocky Mount polices control. I mean, they patrol Nass in the city limits. But now if you ask them to put a police department over there and they got one in Nass County, now you telling taxpayers to pay more money for this big police department here at home.
If you paying $1 million for light bills and
I
it's
agree.
a bunch of abandoned buildings on that side,
I agree.
why
with it.
can't they stick $1 million that we paying for people utility bills and fix up one of them big houses over there to put a police precinct in?
You don't even have to fix up one of the big houses. You do what Raleigh, Durham do. You can take the shopping center, like Food Line Shopping Center right there. You can put a police department back there.
Something.
You put it over there. But see, those guys don't have a vision. Even the city manager don't even have a vision. She came from Savannah. She came from all over. She was jacked up when she got here. You know, I'm just speaking out loud, because our police department's down 23 polices. So if a cat crawls up the tree, you ain't getting your cat back. We ain't got enough man force for nothing.
But when you're down 23 cops, but
oh, there you go.
We saw.
Yeah,
we
saw. Ahead.
Yeah, you already know. You saw Cooper Blackwell and all of the 6 members of the Black Action Committee riding through the wards 1 through 4 with 2 police car escorts, one in the front, one in the back, for 6 cars, claiming that SB 473 is racist. You just took 2 cops off the streets. They could have been doing something else. And we got people selling drugs in front of Dunham's at the mall. The sheriff had to come and catch them and lock them up.
I guess I was running on ignorance when Sam and I were walking through the through the undesirable parts of Rocky Mount.
You should have had a police escort. They give it to the Black Action Committee, and them guys don't do nothing but only you hear them only protest and picket when it comes to certain members on the city council. Other than that, you can't get them dudes to do nothing. So
it's crazy.
I'm just saying, there's a lot going on in the city where the cops could be utilized better than escorting 6 cars through the wards. Also, as far as that police on the other side, I mean, it would cut down on time. Yeah, you might have cops patrolling somewhere else, but even that district, just the presence of a police district on that side might get some of the shootings and everything to calm down. But if they gotta come all the way from that other side of town to get over there, it's a problem.
And Mr. Holtzman, I want to ask you a question. I want you to tell the people. Police chief, I see him in the community talking to what y'all call the bougie black American people. The bougie. They the ones got the money, the ones that educated, think they smarter than the other person that don't got their high school diploma, GED. They the ones that supposed to run the black community. But he's out here talking to these people, but he's not talking to the people in the street. You understand what I'm saying? He's not going to the house like, what do you think of the community? He's on a podium and talking to everybody sitting in the chair. No, you can't do that. Get out and hit them doors and ask the people, what's going on? What can I do to help you and be safe in the city? Because the only police that ever done that was not Manley. Manley was one of them, but it was I can't call his name, but he was a great police. He could hit the doors, shut up roadblocks right in the middle of the street, and we ain't got time to be talking right now. We got to put some action in.
Well, you gotta give a man a chance. He just got here.
Who?
Like, you gotta give him a chance. He just got here.
So-
I like something that he did do, however, and that was form a gang task force and it's a gang / something task force, and they was locking people up.
Well, that's good.
So
That's
I
good.
mean, you gotta come. You got the same dude they kept bringing out of retirement to run and all of that, and he was the old police chief. You got a guy coming in with fresh ideas. You got all of this crime going on across the nation, so you got to come in and try something different. I'm not mad at the boy. I like what he did with that.
That's good, but at the end of the day, you got to go to. If you gonna understand the community, you got to go to the people.
And
You
I
gotta go
agree
to
with
people.
that.
You know, you got people on Holland Street, older ladies been here for years. They're scared to come out of that door. See, those are the people you need to knock on, and they'll tell you, but they're not coming in public. 70 years old, scared to come out their doors, hearing gunshots. People not.
So
not gonna
you
do that.
live over there. How do you feel about that?
I think we need, well, you know, over by Leggett Road, and that shootings just about every day, just about over there.
Mm.
You know, it's bottom line, we got to get to what the people want. The people that are doing the things that they shouldn't be doing have no fear because they can get away with it. They see no heavy hand gonna make them mine.
Right.
So, I mean, let's go back to some of the reality of what needs to be done. One, grandma used to stay home with the kids while mom and pa worked. And therefore, they put value and values into the kids that are home to teach them how to be able to make it in life and society. And we've got to get back to where we are caring, and it's got to start school system, important, critical, making sure that we know that the kids are understanding the values of right and wrong. Whatever happened to the golden rule, do unto others, have them do unto you. Those things are very important for us. And when that starts getting into play, then respecting one another, being able to sit here and talk to you guys and let you know that we're trying to work together to make it better for all of us, no matter. And I hate this thing about race card. It's not right. I hate the aspect that we are trying to blame somebody else when we need to be accountable and say, I screwed up, I messed up, let me see what we can do to make it right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
But instead, you know, they want to use the race card because they do it in the city council meetings. So I wasn't surprised when they went after Beth Woods, when they went after Lisa Barnes. That's their normal habitat. When something go on that they don't agree with,
They're gonna use
they
it.
automatically pull the race card. They throw that thing down like the big joke.
Yeah, they got the card in the back pocket every day. All races, bang.
Racist.
Right, they put the card out every time. Jesus, racist. They use that card. When people say, man, you can't keep using that card, man.
Yeah.
It's going to get out of jail card.
Yeah, that's it.
So how long have you been on the Edgecombe side?
Oh, golly, 30 years.
Jeez.
30 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And y'all said there ain't no white people on the edge go get us out. It's been there 30 years. We still got people over there.
So how do you feel about it not being any big box stores over there? No Walmarts, Kmart's.
We're going to get a high school.
You gonna get a high school?
Yeah, so we're gonna get a school system.
You
That's
can't
right.
shop in the school though. You
Now-
got. I mean, you know, as far as economic development, I don't. Targets, Walmart, something over there.
It needs to be.
Pharmacies.
I mean, we gotta have support, and in order for Edgecombe to grow, one, there's gonna have to be something called decently and in order with crime under control, and so the people will feel safe to be able to go there.
Right.
I mean, give me an example. on Raleigh Street when it comes out, and you get out to go across the bridge or I-64, they put a Dollar General out there.
Sure did.
You know, because people aren't going to Rose's to shop. They didn't put a barricade right across I-64 right now, in the sense that the people are not from Edgecombe side are not going all the way down to Rose's now. They're stopping at the dollar store.
You're a smart man. Economics.
Because of concern.
Crime.
And until we get the crime under order and get people respecting one another, and the thing is, you're talking about it, you said it, the people on the street know what's going on, but they can't open their mouth because of retaliation.
Exactly.
That's it.
So it's
Well, that's more community policing. The cops got to get out, knock on doors, like you said, and start.
You have to be, to get, crime is always going to be here, but you got to get people to think. And I got to get this, I didn't like this police chief, but I got to give him props. Chief Moore. Chief Moore had lots of gang guys on there running the program. I was in prison reading the paper. And this thing set in my mind, and it set in a lot of them kids' mind what he said. And if you had Scotty Parker, if Scotty Parker was the police of Rocky Mount, man, this would be under control. But he told those kids, if y'all mess up, I got the whole United States of America, FBI's behind me, and you will get sentenced. And I got Scotty Parker. That thing was like, wow. He said he put it out there. So when you was a child, know you breaking the law, it's in your mind like, I cannot get caught out here. This chief already put his stamp on it. See, these police chiefs got to put their stamp on it. They got to start working with the community. How we gonna drop this crime? How we gonna do this? I'm gonna tell you, chief. I'm gonna make you look good. You got to start safe zoning. You got to put safe zone at church, safe zones at school, safe zones at restaurant, safe zones anywhere where a lot of people at. When the kids shoot, that's a mandatory 5 years. You can't play with it. Then you get the kids, they start thinking, I can't shoot here. It's a church. It's a school. Man, I gotta go in the country and shoot this guy. You got to get people to think. This way you gotta make the kids start thinking. Right now, it's like OK Corral right now.
Now, wait a minute. I got to take issue with you. And that is, you said we got to have a safe zone to send them out to the country.
Send them out there in the country where there ain't nothing there really. I forgot you out there. I'm sorry.
So that's why I got to take issue with the man. Because he's out there saying, we got a safe zone here, but, and we're going to take it away from the one out there. So if y'all need to shoot, go on out there. So,
Well, I don't know if that's going to work, because in Philly, we had a lot of safe zones, and that ain't stopped nothing. Just more people's getting shot in the safe zones.
I think
They tried it.
I think it'll stop here. It's less people. People in the state is more faster. I've been around people up there, and they more grapple. But down here, you ain't got. I don't see any kids come in, and I don't see kids ain't never come back with the issue when they go to jail. They gangsters in the street, but when they go to jail, oh boy, there ain't no gangsters. I don't see no gangsters in.
There ain't no guns in jail. You got shanks, but
So,
there ain't no
most
guns.
of them come out, they got beat up and everything. They don't really come back.
But then you got some that get worse. I know some dudes that wasn't hard at all.
And that's true.
And they went to jail and came back.
But the ones that are doing all the shooting and killing, it's the ones that don't even have a criminal record.
Right.
The gangsters is the masterminds. The babies that don't have no criminal record, bow. They're the ones are the most dangerous ones out there. That's the problem. It ain't no OGs out here, man. Y'all keep talking about they got the OGs. Man, these kids do what they want to do because they want to be loved. They want to be with somebody. Their dad ain't in the household. Their mama running the street. You got all types of that going on in this city. We got a mental health issue here. And
Drug issue.
You got homeless issue here. All that plays a factor in Rocky Mount. Our city council, Shelley Willingham, Toby Finch, Butterfield, all of them got to send money to help these people, man. We can't keep sending the city council. The city of Rocky Mount is not a bank. It's not a bank. You come up with a non-profit, I don't need $50. Oh, sign it off, and it don't reach the community.
Or every time a HUD loan comes here, like the one that came for $1.4 million earlier this year, they gotta run it by the guy Varney, that's the head of the.
Varney.
Yeah, they gotta run it by him first to see how much they can steal from that to throw downtown. There is more to Rocky Mount than just the downtown area where you got your businesses.
Yeah.
There's more to Rocky Mount than that. Then you had a pastor that came to the city council meeting Monday, and he was talking about 6 blocks where there were 24 abandoned houses. And you know who ward that was, because he sat there on the city council looking like a dead caught in the headlights, Joyner, and you turned around and going to try to throw it on the city manager. No, bro. You vote with them clowns. Every time you're the mayor pro temp, you vote with them guys. Every single time they want to shovel money downtown, and you don't do nothing for your ward. Number one, you shouldn't even be there. You got appointed. You didn't even live in the ward long enough to know what the ward needed. And then you sat there like a deer in the headlights when that other pastor who lives there talked about 6 blocks in your ward of abandoned houses. 24 abandoned houses in 6 blocks.
Whew.
What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with the people? Get that clown out of there and that other 3 and the other 2 fake pastors who are doing nefarious activities, trapped in the closet, want to say you're married. The other one want to act like he got a wife, and you're a pastor, and you living nefariously, and you want to pray for people?
Can't do it.
How you laying hands on people, praying for people, and you trapped in the closet? On the down low. Really? Psh. Them dudes need to get out of there. It's only one dude on the city council or one person on the city council that's fighting for the citizens, and that's Laz Daughtry. The rest of them, clean sweep. Get them all out of there.
So, Mr. Hosman, what do you think about the Mayor Sandy Robinson? You think he's doing a great job?
I think, I really don't know how to answer that because it's a yo-yo situation.
What you mean? Explain.
It's like this point, Sammy's going and doing for the people. Then over here, he gets to where he apologizes for somebody he's trying to hold accountable. And so
I agree.
I don't walk in his shoes. I don't know what the main thing is, but I really believe he wants what's best for Rocky Mount.
I believe
I
that.
really believe that. As for the politics of what's going on, and the reason I'm hesitant, because the mayor has been kind to me in helping me when I've asked him questions about the election, asked him questions about how to run a campaign or something like that. He's been willing to say, look, I can share with you what happened and how I was able to become the mayor of Rocky Mount. You can take that information, do what you want to with it, and see if it helps. So I have great respect for the mayor in, as I know him one-on-one, and how he's treated me and helped me to understand what I can do to better serve the people in Edgecombe and Rocky Mount.
Okay.
What you think about the lawyer, Jed Rowe?
I'm don't want to be sued.
Okay, what you think about Lige?
Lige, he's got a tough tail. Because it gets chewed on and he goes right back in there for more.
Yep.
Oh, okay, what you think about Miss Chris Miller?
Seasoned for so long that you need someone to get excited about things and not just go into the status quo.
Okay. How about Mr. Bullock?
Mr. Bullock, same. He really wants to do what's right for Rocky Mount. I really believe his heart's there. But you know, as we have these birthdays and we get older, our fight kind of gets out of us, and we just got to let somebody else come in and do the fight.
Okay. What you think about this talking right now? What do you think about Mr. Richard Joyner?
Richard has disappointed me.
Okay.
I really have great respect for Richard when it comes to the taking care of giving people with the farm and helping build a place for kids to learn how to make it in life. I have great respect for that, and how he came up and made sure that the kids know how to make a living and do it with this project there. So it's just a matter of, I think, part of when you get into certain situations you can't see clearly. And if the scales can fall off his eyes, as it does with every one of us, then we can see truth for truth, a lie for a lie, and put God first, and get away from the platform of the Democrats, and that is socialism, anti-America, the Jews, you know, back in Israel, taking care of Israel, the Second Amendment, you know, we've got to get back to where the foundation of what God wanted us to do. And it's a tough life if you get in there and you're trying to please people. When you start getting away and pleasing people, you forget about God, and you don't have the foundation to be able to make decisions in the best interest of what God wants us to do it, because we're listening to people and not God.
Okay. What do you think about Mr. T.J. Walker?
I don't know TJ.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't know him, have not had the privilege of even speaking to him.
Okay. Well, how about Mr. Andre Knight?
Andre, there again, that is still, the verdict is still out, because he says everything is right, and then things say it's wrong. I'm going to say, let everything run its course, and it'll come out to where it's supposed to.
Okay. Last one. What you think about Reuben?
Reuben, I haven't spoken to him personally in years, but because I work in the natural health field, I work in trying to help people, and we've actually had good conversation on what the people need in Rocky Mount, and how they can be a benefit, and how they were doing it with OCI. And
I see.
oh yeah.
But we knew what you meant.
Thank you very much. So I think the intentions are wanting to do what's right for the people. So.
Okay, I gotta know, of those two candidates up there, who do you think the most tricky one, the slickest one up there?
You said trickiest one, the slickest one.
Woo, Lord Jesus. I would say that the way the newspaper reports it, you gotta, and I'm sticking my neck out here. Andre is the one that would be the one that is kind of like knows how to wiggle and get things going in different directions. So I guess that's kind of answers the question, putting me on the spot.
Yeah, hey, that's one thing we don't discriminate. We don't discriminate. But I'm gonna let you have this last say so before we get off the air. Where you want to see Rocky Mount in the next 5 years? How you want to see the city?
Oh, I would love it to be able to take up the theme of Philadelphia, brotherly love, being able to do something like we're doing right here on this broadcast, is that we are able to bring out what it needs. Okay, let me just get it straight. Rocky Mount needs, first of all, with his 140 some churches, I guess it's got, right?
Mhm.
It needs to get back to people believing what the churches stood for and standing up and preaching the gospel and living it and not taking and using it to manipulate and control.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So with that in mind, you and I are going to see changes come when the people that have the small voice are going to get boasters. It's the power of one having to get into place, and that's what we're going to need. The power of one, it's going to go over, and it's going to be the power of two, it's going to be the power of three. And what you're saying is that accountability is what it's all about, and once people are willing to be accountable, to confess their wrongs and move forward, then we're going to have what we need in Rocky Mountain.
So do you think the city council, do you think it should be a limit on limitation on the city council, how many years you should be at there?
It should be a limit on all political aspects of the limitations. It's not just the city council, but it's the different commissioners, whatever it may be. We need limits in order for people to get it set up the way it's supposed to be set up, instead of, so they know that they're not benefiting from it.
Okay. Well, people, you heard from the man himself, Mr. Hawksman, and I'm glad that he came in today to talk to me. I helped him in his campaign. You know, we didn't win. We couldn't get Edgecombe County people. You know why we couldn't get it. But we couldn't get it. But I'm just glad that he came in and gave up his time to come talk to me and Greg about the politics and everything. But I just want to send 2 shout-outs to Lisa Baum and Beth Woods. Keep doing what you do. Keep fighting for this city. And that is the word on the street with Sarah Rock.
Gregb. Yup.
Mr. Hawksman.